Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the final round of Apex Online Racing's Formula Rookie League for Project CARS 2 on the PS4. There's 8 drivers still mathematically in at the title race, and it will be interesting to see who's going to take the title. My name is Jess, also known as Jess Games 95, and joining me once again for the final time is VSR Roshi, also known as Ethan Graham. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Kind of tired, kind of lethargic. It's been a long, busy week for me. But I'm ready to go for this final outing for the Formula Rookies. Obviously, the last 2 weeks have been absolutely phenomenal. Last week, especially at Sugo, was very, very entertaining and also very controversial as well in some degrees. But I'm raring to go for this final round, Jess.
Yeah, me too. And nobody can afford to make any stakes today. Well, Oulton Park's in the Cheshire countryside, combining a stunning scenery and it makes spectacular racing. It's been basically in the field for more than 60 years, and it's been hosting the British Touring Cars, the British F3 and the GT Championship as well. Not many open wheel events, but it's playing host to it today. So what makes it interesting, it's a full grid as well, which is amazing. And I think one person to say, I've got to say Jazzman. If he didn't get that win last week, he would have been mathematically be out of the championship. So, do you think Jazzman can carry his momentum?
I don't know. Apparently, there's 8 drivers within a chance of taking the championship. But realistically, my main 4 competitors are Mr. Kozowski, Essa, Big Kid Daddy, and Kaiser. Really, for me, they're the 4 top drivers who can potentially win this championship. Jazzman, he's a long way off in 6th position with 116 points and 82 off of championship leader, the Kaiser. So Jazzman's got a lot to work for if he wants to make this championship stick. And he's doing it probably at the most difficult circuit on the calendar. Sugo may have been in the wet, but Sugo had some runoff. This is Oulton Park. Oulton Park, to me, is the UK's very own version of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. There is no runoff here. And there is some runoff, but very, very minor runoff. And in this only chicane on the circuit, there's massive tyre bollards waiting for you. So if you clip those, it's game over. So these drivers got a really, really, really tricky set of races ahead of them.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, it is quite hard to overtake in these cases, so they need to be on their A game. And since it is quiet now, we may see a few more mistakes from the drivers today. So let's just hope that they've been practicing quite a lot as well. And Big Kid Daddy has admitted he hasn't been very well the last couple of days, but he's still racing out there today, and that is a dedication really. He debated about missing this race, but he's still in a title fight and he wants to win this title. So he's going to try his best, but honestly, if he does win with him being this ill, that would be absolutely amazing. But there's still the likes of obviously Mr. Kozowski in it as well. Kaiser, he's the favourite going into this. He's leading the championship ahead of Big Kid Daddy at the moment. He's been on form all season. A few mistakes which may have costed him taking the title now, but he's the one that's got the most chance today, but he can't slip up.
No, he certainly can't. Obviously, I've got to say, Jess, a few drivers at some point in this season have had their fair share of ups and downs. I've got to say, though, the turning tide in this championship was race 1 at Sugo. Obviously, we all remember what happened there. Big Kid Daddy technically won on circuit, but then the game broke, and initially our coordinator Jazzman went off of the official timing results, which I believe was the incorrect decision because the game had clearly broken, so you couldn't really say who won in the end, it resulted in a huge debate amongst the drivers, and in the end, Big Kid Daddy did take it to the stewards, and ultimately, Big Kid Daddy did win that first race, which may have been a real dividends for Kaiser, because that was some extra points he could have done with, but in the end, he's kind of being robbed of a win and robbed of some points, and it's really helped Big Kid Daddy in second position, only being 17 points off. Obviously, Big Kid Daddy did have a horrid second race at Sugo as well, so that 12th position in race 2 at Sugo, Jess, that's really going to hamper Big Kid Daddy, but I'm sure he's going to give it his all today as the Kaiser goes pole position by 5/10 of a second.
There was predictions that we could get into the 132s. We're already in the 132s. We're in the 131s already, so already they're insanely quick. One person that surprised me a lot this season is Essa Racing. I mean, he was at the bottom in the GT3 season in season 15, as he had a little bit of a slide there. And he's been really consistent this season. The only rubbish result really he's had was the second race in Dubai Autodrome, which the international circuit, I believe. But apart from that, he's been all right, and he's got 2 podiums as well. One of them which got his first win as well. And I think Essa is not expecting to win tonight, but I think if he keeps the consistent results up, he could aim for potentially a top 3 spot in the championship, which will definitely boost his confidence going into the GT3 season.
Oh, 100%. These filler leagues, they're just that cool down period for the GT drivers. I remember back when I was participating in GT3, especially coming off of season 12, that was my worst season to date, apart from season 15, where obviously I had to retire halfway through because I had a wheel issue. So the filler leagues, they're a good way of just blowing off some steam, just relaxing, having that bit of fun. And I think it was the Radical SR3. An absolute ball to drive. They're mini LMP cars with a motorbike engine and lots of aero. Really fun, really fast cars to drive. So, you know, these Formula rookies, they have provided some steam for these guys. It's got them to chill out just a bit. But I've got to say, I think it's done the exact opposite. I think it's put more pressure and stress on the drivers because of just how close it's been all season long. But you're totally correct, Jess, with what you say. That I think how S has performed this season with only, I mean, he's finished in the top 10 in every race, and obviously Dubai being his worst result, which was 10th in the second race. It's going to give him some confidence to going into the next GT3 season. I've heard that the calendar is very good for GT3. Haven't seen the conditions yet, but I think a lot of drivers could be very, very confident going into potentially the final GT3 season on Project Cars 2. I think I could say that for everyone going into the final season.
Yeah. Keep an eye on the Twitter, of course, at Apex on Racing, as well as the forums as well, for more information on when the GT3 season is back again, and sign up so open, because I know a few of you are keen to do that as well. And yeah, I don't know what the calendar is yet, but from what I've heard from the drivers and the coordinators, it's a good one. So I'm really, really ecstatic, and obviously, you know, a few of these drivers are keen to get back. But for some of them, it was their first experience as a top tier. In particular, obviously, Leroy, Fozzie as well. A few other people have never been in a top tier before, like, basically, the Formula rookies. You know, this might give them confidence to improve on their other leagues as well, like Tier 2, Tier 3, or even Tier 4, depending on how many tiers we get for the final season. Because obviously, we've still got the GT3 regulars that are not racing in this league at the moment. So we could see them coming back, and I hope Kaiser makes a comeback. He did say he'll probably return to GT3, but if Kaiser wins the championship in Formula Rookie, I'm almost certain he's going to come back to GT3, and he'll be probably one of the favourites going into that season for sure.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of returning drivers, I think, for GT3. Of course, we should really be talking about Formula Rookie, but there's nothing wrong with talking about a bit of GT3. Jazzman, Big Kid Daddy, some of the drivers you're seeing in this tier now are likely to return to GT3 next season. Whether they'll be in Tier 1, I don't know. But majority of the top drivers here will be in Tier 1 next season. Kaiser, I think he is planning to make a return to GT3 for one last outing alongside Jazzman, like they have in Formula Renault. I think they'll be teaming up in that. I don't know about Gaza or Boyraxa from Tier 1. I don't know if they're doing it. I haven't actually heard from them in a while, so it'd be nice to see Boyraxa come back to defend his 2 championships and make it 3 potentially, but we don't know. But I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. I'm tempted, but I haven't driven Project Cars 2 in a long time. It hasn't been about 4, 5, 6 weeks since I've driven on here. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to need to dust off the rust, because I'm certainly going to be not as fast as I usually am. But you know, there's nothing wrong with being slow. It's just about enjoying it, really. That's the main thing. It's all about enjoying what you do. Even if you're going off the track and having a mare like that blue car was just in the background, as long as you're having fun, that's what's important.
Exactly, and the Formula rookies are definitely different to obviously the GT3s. It takes a while to get used to as well, so they'll need a couple of weeks just to get used to the GT3s again, because like James Baldwin, I was talking about him a few weeks ago, he can just go on a different sim and get used to it straight away. But for other drivers, it takes a long time to get used to a different car, so that's going to be really hard, going from an open wheel setup to a GT3 setup in a space for a few weeks. But we'll find out when we go to GT3, of course. But everyone has set a lap time right now, with everyone from top the 13th down upwards 1.5 seconds of each other, which is awesome. And obviously we got Mr. Kozlowski and Kites at first and second, 9,000 separating them, and we've got Jazzman 79,000 at the moment. We are seeing the big contenders there, but we've got the likes of Esser, Tinnis, Big Kid Daddy, the championship contenders there. They're way down the order. They can't afford to slip up this easily if they want to stay in, but you never know. They may do a comeback race in the first one and absolutely annihilate the field, but we'll never know until we get to the first race, of course.
Well, maybe Big Kid Daddy has the strategy behind this. Apparently, the Formula Rookie's been kind of a menace around this circuit, especially on that final corner. That final corner seems to allow the car to really, really over-rotate at the rear. It just seems some drivers are struggling a little bit as Kaiser blows Mr. Kozlowski out of the water with a 30.7. So Kaiser's on it. He's proven it. He's saying, look, I'm going for it this race, but you know, Mr. Kozlowski, he's always been that dark horse. It was just like last race at Sugo. He put it on pole and then pulled away, and then made a mistake again. With those mistakes, he could be challenging. He could even be in first place going into this race, but he isn't. He's down the way in fourth, 64 points off, with a DNF, 2 DNFs to his name. So those 2 DNFs, they've really, really hampered his position in the championship and hampered his chances at the championship. Personally, I think Mr. Kozlowski has the odds stacked against him. He's going to really need to pull something out of the bag if he wants to make a championship happen. But if I'm honest, I can't see it happening. As much as that hurts to say a bit, I just don't think Mr. Kozlowski is just going to quite have it this race, unfortunately. And if he proves me wrong, then fair enough.
Yeah, and pretty much all teams but one have still got a chance of the team's championship, which is amazing. Obviously, Griff Ross Racing needs a miracle, but unfortunately, the 2 cars of Evil and Vetro, they won't be winning a title this season, because obviously they're 264 3 points behind, and there's about 206 points available going into this race. But I've got to say, for some of these guys, it's a great experience to go into these types of racing. Vetro getting his best results for quite a while actually as well. Evil almost got his best result in obviously Dubai as well. I mean, he's saying he's not expecting much tonight on this track. He's not a big fan of this track, but you know, he's improving on pace week in, week out. He was in the 134s earlier. He's in the 133s now, so he's getting better lap in, lap out, really.
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, hasn't had a lot of time to really get up to speed. Obviously, Evil and Vectra are the only drivers outside of the 2-second margin, everyone else within 2 seconds. So I think that could be kind of demoralizing to these guys. They probably don't care if they're outside of 2 seconds. I know Vectro, he can be quite tough on himself. He likes to do well, and when he doesn't do well, he's quite harsh on himself. It's very easy for a driver to kind of like belittle themselves and say, oh, I did this, I could have done that, you know. But it's to not get into that mindset and just try and see, okay, I'm not having a great race, you know, let's just try and make up for it. Let's see what I can do with what I've got. And you never know, something may just come out of the bag. You know, Vectra and Evil, they've had their fair share of ups and downs this season, like every other driver, but I've got to say, they came alive at Dubai. It seems that that spirit warrior or fighting spirit has kind of fluctuated a little bit. It seems they've lost their mojo just a little bit going into this round, but Oulton Park, a very difficult circuit to learn for some drivers. in my personal opinion, I absolutely love Oulton Park. I think it's got a really nice flow to it, especially in GT3 cars. In the Formula Rookies, probably not so much. I don't think Oulton Park's that good for open wheels, especially with how narrow it is. But yeah, I think Evo and Vectro mainly just going to be looking just to finish this race, just getting it out of the way. But then again, something might happen at the front and they may jump up a lot of positions. But qualifying is now concluded, so we'll follow Vector as he comes across the line, Jess. See what he does.
Is he going to improve on his time? We'll have to wait and see, of course. A long run to the line, actually, as he comes across the line. There's quite a few people going to the pit lane, so they're not going to improve. I don't think Vetro's improved on his time, so that is his qualifying done. He still remains within a 2-second margin. There's only 7 corners in this circuit, so it is less turns on this circuit, but they name pretty much every part of the circuit. Fozzie comes across the line now. He's in 9th at the moment. I think he's going to stay 9th. Yes, he is staying 9th. As well, Esser in the pits. He's 4th. That is pretty good lap time from him as well, considering that he wants ideally to be in the top 3 in the championship. Leroy, what about him? He stays 7th. And I think Mr. Kozlowski, could he be on the lap? I will have to wait and see, of course. We've got Evil Dragon finishing off. No, Mr. Kozlowski can't improve either.
Kaiser is though, so let's see, can he bump his position up even? Well, he's not going to get any further. Can he just take that lap time down even more?
There's Jazzman behind. He's going to get a tow as well.
Exactly, yeah. Did Jazzman jump up a position? No, he did not. Even with that tow, he couldn't get. But then again, top 3 split by just under 5 tenths. Then Esser sitting comfortably in 4th position as Schwantz. Again, another one of those dark horses. His pace on and off between events is in 5th there, and Danny Boy in an impressive 6th alongside his teammate, and Cart a little bit further down as well. But that's qualifying done, so quite a realistic qualifying. So the usual suspects on front, but it is pole position for Kaiser, and Mr. Kozlowski lines up on the front row alongside. Mr. Kozlowski splits Kaiser and Jazzman. Jazzman starting in 3rd, Esser in a very, very brilliant 4th, Schwantz in 5th, Danny in 6th, Leroy in 7th, Cart in 8th, Fozzie in 9th, Tom G in 10th. And just scrolling down to the remainder, Pren in 11th, Tinnis in a very disappointing 12th, Berno in 13th, Big Kid Daddy 2nd position in championship in 14th. It's going to need a miracle to climb up some positions there, and Evo and Vectro round out the final row on the grid. So now we just wait to get lined up on the grid and all that, which they are now. 20 minutes ahead of them, Jess. What do you think is going to happen?
Oh, well, they got to make sure they keep an eye on turn 1 like every other track. Obviously, you can see on the track map on the right-hand side of your screen, it's very tight going into the first set of corners, to be honest. So they got to keep it steady. They got to keep their mojos on, basically. And like we said, it is a standing start, so they got to think less. They got to think more on their feet going into the first race. Really, they can't afford to make any mistakes, especially if you're the likes of Miss Kozlowski, Schwantz, Jazzman, Tinnis, and Pren. They've got to hope everyone else has a mistake. Everyone to be staying in the game in this championship, they've got to have at least 51 points going into the final round, a 51-point gap to Kaiser. If they don't, then they'll be out of the championship fight. So we'll have to do some maths during the stream, and I believe we're syncing. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
So we are about to get started with the race then. We've got 4 lights coming on your screens now with Kaiser on pole. Already we've got jump start from Car at the back. That's not good, but anyway, we've got Kaiser has got a really good start, but Mr. Kozlowski is going to try and attack from the get-go, really, which is great to see. He's hit the curve just a little bit.
And he's already gone round.
He's already gone round as well. That is not good at all. A lot of people's gone wide. It's Berno as well. So
can't keep up there. Oh, that's been a huge accident there in the background. Not the start you'd expect. Sorry to cut over you there. Well, look at that. Evo and Vector have gone from the back row straight up to 10th and 11th. Car getting a jump start there. Already challenging Tom G into the... Oh, yeah, I thought they were going straight on then, like they were doing the full circuit. I forgot they're doing the island. My bad, but yeah, Car getting that penalty. Not good at the start there, so that's 20 seconds already, and this track's not very long. Mr. Kozlowski botching his start. He got an absolutely legendary start. Already up the inside of Kaiser, catches too much curb and loses the rear. That is not what you want to be doing whatsoever, so he's completely ruined any chance of even having a chance of getting that championship now is completely out the window now, unless something happens. Evil's now picked up a penalty as well. This is where the track is at its most narrow, so you got to be very careful here. Evil up the inside of 1, potentially up the inside of 2. No, there's contact there. Oh, he's forced forced Cart off there a little bit. There was wheel-to-wheel contact. It's lap 1 though, so they might just get away with it. Evil very aggressive today, it seems. And there's Mr. Gzowski behind Vector as well. So Mr. Gzowski already trying to find his way through. But meanwhile, it's actually Jazzman who has taken the lead from Kaiser. Kaiser may potentially have some damage from something. He may have just picked up something earlier on in the race. Essa up into 4th now, 3rd as well.
Yeah, so a lot of people made up ground, a lot of people losing ground as well. Tin is another big dame down there as well. I mean, if he's one who has he's mathematically in it, but he has a very low chance of actually getting the title, but he's going to have a little bit of fun. Of course, Schwantz is having a battle with one, I think it's with Essa Racing. Yes, it is with Essa for 3rd place, a potential podium spot actually. Those two were almost quite close in the championship, but they're separating by around about 40 points between Schwantz and Essa, of course. A few more penalties on the grid. We've got Pren as well that's picked up a penalty as well. I've got to say, Essa hold on to his start perfectly as well, matching up with the top guys like he did last week, and obviously Jazzman is doing very well to keep his team chance alive as well. And obviously if he has another good race like last week, then he'll definitely still be in a chance. Evil's got spun, I think. Where's that? That is...
He's got damage. Same with Burnout. Something's gone on between these two, clearly.
They must have had a come in together, or they might have spun, I don't know. But
I don't know where Burnout's going, but he's
mowing the lawn, right, like Bottas.
What he ends up doing is cutting a circuit. He's now going to end up a lap down because he hasn't gone through the Sector 1 timing position, so he may actually end up dropping down a position. Evil and Burno with damage. I'm actually quite surprised Burno hasn't dropped down yet, so that should change around eventually. But meanwhile, up front, Jazz... Oh, wow, look at this battle. This is getting very close here. So we got 2 teammates, and then Essa and Schwantz battling it out. Kaiser, the championship leader, but Jazzman's not going to let him by. Jazzman potentially within the chance of winning the championship. Kaiser knows that, so he's going to have to get his foot down if he wants to do anything. Meanwhile, in the background, Schwantz looking for a way up the inside. Essa sees it coming from a mile away, gives him the route, and then Schwantz gives him a little tap to the left, to the right side of his car, and just pushes him slightly off the track there. Nothing too bad there. Doesn't look like they got any damage. I mean, Essa's dropped a whole chunk of time there, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. Tonji, meanwhile, in the pits with damage by the looks of it, and the cameraman can't quite pick it up.
Quite a few people in the 130s, and they didn't even reach it in qualifying. So some people, like Essa, for example, Schwantz, and Essa and Schwantz, for example, their race pace is a lot better than their qualifying pace. Maybe they're a little bit more comfortable with the track potentially as well, or maybe they just like racing each other and possibly having a little bit more slipstream than usual. But yeah, Essa not having the best of times at the moment with that battle, but he still has time to improve, of course. So let's just hope that he could get a challenge on Schwantz, and he's only a few tenths behind him, so there is still an opportunity. But meanwhile, Kaiser is still fine with his teammate. This is absolutely sensational right now. We've got Kart as well down in 9th place, and with that penalty still looming, and Vetro still in 8th place as well. Vetro is having some good battles as well. That is definitely where Vetro would want to be right now, battling with other cars as well. He's made up 8 positions in the opening few laps. Incredible.
Yes, obviously everyone had a bit of a coming together out of turn 1 on the first laps of Vector. Was able to jump up a lot of positions. Unfortunately, Evil not quite capitalising, and eventually being struck by some damage. Like I said, Burno has actually gone down a lap because he missed one of the sector one of the sector zones. So he's actually put himself a lap down by cutting half the track. So a bit of an embarrassment. It's not something you really want to be doing, but we'll look past it. Meanwhile, further down the track, Kart and Vectro, Big Kid Daddy's there in the background. He doesn't want to be too close to this, because if Vectro and Kart come together, Big Kid Daddy's going to get caught out in that. You can't be afforded to be getting caught, as I twist my words up a little bit there. Big Kid Daddy cannot afford to be getting caught in accidents that don't actually directly involve him, because he is second position in the championship, and he really needs to be getting a shuffle on here. as Vectro runs slightly wide. Kart's now all over the back of Vectro, looking for a way by. Vectro goes one way, 3 wide. No, do not do that, guys. Can't do that here. And weaving about all over the place. Kart is now wide, so that would be a penalty. Big Kid Daddy. Oh, there it goes. There goes Big Kid Daddy around the outside. As the inside for turn number 1 now. I'm sure Kart's going to have to back off from here. Big Kid Daddy's got the inside. He's trying to wing it around the outside. He may do the under and over. He certainly does. Can he hold on to the position though?
It's gonna be close between all 3 of them, to be honest. I mean, we've seen obviously Kart's teammate having off in turn 1. Hopefully he doesn't do the same. As Big Kid Daddy hits the curb, someone's gone off. That's not good. Is it Burnout?
Yes, it is. He's getting out of the way. He's a let down, so he's backing off out of the way. Big Kid Daddy actually tried to go up the inside of Vectro. I think Vectro shut the door on him, so Big Kid Daddy had to get on the anchors very early. Has Big Kid Daddy got a penalty? No, he does not. Vectro and Kart do. What do they have? Vectro 2 seconds. Kart was 21 with that jump start. So Big Kid Daddy's already an 8th. He can just afford to sit there. As Kart's gone off the circuit and comes directly back onto the circuit there, like a missile.
Oh, careful! Oh my goodness, that was almost close.
Oh, he's nearly done it again.
No,
Too much power on the grass there, and nearly taking out one of the drivers there. I think that was Pren going by. It certainly was. Nearly murdering 2 cars there in 2 mistakes. Not what you want to be seeing whatsoever. Meanwhile, back up front, the gap, top 4 within a second. So he's heating up here. Oh, Schwantz is looking very, very, very hot indeed. He's looking for a way by Essa, and I think Essa may have just let his guard down there, got a little bit on the curb. Schwantz is coming, but he can't quite get his car in a position to get by. Very difficult to overtake here at Oulton Park. I mean, it's just as difficult for GT3, GT4 cars in the British GT Championship. With these open wheel cars, with the suspension sticking out so much and the contacts we've had, I'm not surprised these drivers are taking it cautiously.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're taking less risk than obviously the last few weeks, and it's the last round, so you don't want to lose many points. I think fair play to the ones that are pretty much wanting to stay in this title fight. You can tell they want to be in this fight because, you know, they want to make sure they're in the best position possible. I know Schwantz wants to gain a lot of position, because if he doesn't, he'll be out of this championship. At the moment, he's 81 points behind Kaiser, so he needs to be ahead pretty much of all 3 of these drivers if he wants to stay in this title fight. Otherwise, he's out of it, really. So this could be used as momentum and motivation to make sure he gets ahead of these guys. But I think he's going to take it 1 car at a time, 1 driver at a time, not focus on too much at once, and then he should be good. He got his first win in the second race in Germany, of course, in the first round. Can history repeat himself tonight, potentially?
It certainly could so, as that's the Kaiser going defensive from Essa there as we ride on the front bumper of Schwantz. Very good camera there. Oh, so Kaiser goes wide. Essa is going right up the inside now. So we get to a trackside camera. Yep, Kaiser's going to have to back off now. That's not what Kaiser wants. Jazzman's pulling away now. So that's now Essa up into second position, but Kaiser's coming back at it. These guys are battling really hard. I thought they were just going, yep, Kaiser's got it. Is Essa going to outbreak him? No, he certainly is. Kaiser goes wide now. Schwantz is coming up the inside as well. So Kaiser may have just hurt himself even more there. No, Schwantz has backed off there. It looks like these drivers are all just staying line astern, leaving it to the last minute just to try and get an overtake. They're not risking it at all because of how difficult it is to overtake. They're all line astern. Personally, I think that might be the best way of doing it. Maybe Kaiser dropping a position might not be such a bad thing, because coming to the second race, he'll be ahead of his main competitors. So maybe there's a bit of strategy to it. But of course, every driver wants more points, don't they?
Yeah, basically Kaiser needs to outscore all his championship rivals, and then that's it. He's pretty much won. So if he does it in both races, then that's easy maths for all of us.
Oh, here
comes Kaiser again. Let's see if he could get the move on Essa this time. Oh, that is very, very tight entry, obviously. It could potentially be 3 wide again. Schwantz is right in the middle of this. Kaiser's going to get a better run on Essa going into potentially turn 1 on this first straight then. Again, this is going to be really, really tough for Kaiser, of course. But, oh, as Essa's gone wide a bit as well. This is going to allow Kaiser to gain a few more attempts than Essa. I'm surprised Essa didn't get a warning. He might have got a warning for that. You've got to be careful, otherwise he'll get a penalty. He's 1 second behind Jazzman. Jazzman will probably be loving this. Maybe Kite is trying to hold Essa up a little bit.
Maybe, yeah, but Jazzman's got... Oh, Essa's slowing down. He's got a warning. He got a warning. He can't risk a penalty. That's Evil getting out of the way there. But yeah, Essa got a penalty there, and it's killed all his momentum. He can't afford to get a penalty in this battle because of how close it is. Just a second penalty is going to cost him a lot, and Jazzman's starting to run away now. He's about a corner lengths ahead of these guys. So it's just these three here, and Jazzman's starting to pull away. Meanwhile, further down, Big Kid Daddy's into his 7th now. He's in his own little bubble between Leroy and Danny Boy. Even further down, it is Vectro, Leroy and Tinnis battling for 8th, 9th and 10th. Just behind them is Fozzie as well. So there's battles going on between the track here. But I think the main battle is this top 4 battle here, because this is 4 contenders for the championship here. And Essa getting that off track there, just going slightly by, getting that warning as he locks up and nearly rotates. He can't be afforded to be going off the circuit. None of the other drivers can, so we can't afford to get that penalty and slow down.
Yeah, this could hurt his chance of actually taking the title if he stays like this, really. But to be honest, I'm not expecting him to get the title anyway. But if he gets past some of these guys, it will be a miracle. Schwartz had a mistake. There he goes. Right on cue as well. I think reverse psychology, I think, helped there. As Essa gets on the curb again, Schwartz could be on this again once more. This could be a ping-pong battle, pretty much, of them switch positions every lap. But I thinkEssa's hungry over it, of course. He wants to be ahead of Schwartz in the championship. He's already ahead of him at the moment, but, you know, he could use this. But I can safely say, I think Mr. Kozlowski in 5th place. I've just noticed him, actually. 5th place, and he's on the charge again.
As well.
He's on the charge.
He's certainly charging, but he's got Evil between him. Evil eventually will jump out of the way. Kaiser trying his best to catch up to Jazzman. When you look at the pace, Kaiser is definitely quicker. Fact is, it's about getting by. It's all well and good being fast. If you can't get by, then there's no point having that faster pace. And unfortunately, Oulton Park not a very good track for overtaking for these cars. It's not. There's barely any overtaking. Depending on what car you're in. But I think Kaiser can afford a 2nd position here. He doesn't need to go for the win because Jazzman's sitting in 6th position, over 50 points behind. So I don't think Kaiser needs to worry too much about Jazzman. I think it's more about Mr. Kozlowski and, well, more Essa right behind him. So I think Kaiser wants to overtake Essa because Essa's coming in and he wants these guys. Essa's lapping the fastest out of these top 4 here. So Essa's on it. The question is, can he get by? Because once again, Schwantz is there. Look at that, weaving from right to left, trying to find a gap, but can't make it work.
No, he can't, and the mistakes might cost him, and it will bring Mr. Kozlowski in the picture as well.
Jazzman's got a penalty.
Oh no, that's going to cost him. That's going to cost him quite a bit. 1 second. So if they stay battling like this, Kai's could take the win, and that'll be crucial for Kite's chance at the championship. As Essa's fighting with Schwartz again. I think he's got him this time, but for how much longer? Because they're within a 10th of each other. A 10th. Essa's just grown as a racer every race. This is great.
Yeah, look, in doing so, he's allowed Jazzman to pull it over a 2nd gap. If he wants 2nd position, he needs to catch up and drop Schwartz, but it's all well and good saying that. It's going to be much more difficult than we actually think it will be, because here comes Schwartz. He's looking, but Schwartz just dives back to the slipstream of... Oh, and then he loses it nearly there. That's going to be the break. Essa needs to catch back up. Essa's definitely the quickest out of these guys. Jazzman has really hampered himself now because, well, the top 4 are nearly within a 2nd, and if Jazzman makes another mistake, then, well, that's going to be him demoted 3 positions. Essa just needs to get within a 2nd and he's going to be golden. This is basically a golden ticket for Kaiser as well. He doesn't need to do anything now. He can just afford to sit there as Schwartz gets on the curve, grounds out, nearly losing the rear. But the top 3 within a 2nd now. Jazzman cannot afford to get that penalty up anymore as he does go off again there. further down the field, we got some more battles. Danny Boy and Big Kid Daddy. Big Kid Daddy looking to get by Dan, but Dan has a penalty of 2 seconds, so Big Kid Daddy's up into 6th now, so that's a pretty good race for him. Because really, well, there we go. Danny Boy's handed the position by the looks of it by having a mistake out of the island hairpin. Further back, Tinnis with a penalty. Oh, look at all those cars there. Quite a lot of penalties for everybody outside of the top 10 as well.
Apart from Burno in 16th, he's been penalty free. But I'm guessing he's doing a race of attrition right now. But here we go again, the last 3 minutes of this race then. This is going to be calm before the storm, basically. They can't afford to lose it here, because otherwise their chances of this race victory or even a podium is pretty much gone. And Essa is now in 2nd place.
Yeah, but we just caught on to that at the last second there, Jess.
Wow, that is amazing from Essa, but look at Kaiser. Kaiser needs to get ahead of Essa now. Jazzman's able to pull that gap now that he needs to win the race. This is crucial for Jazzman. I think that's what Kaiser wants to do anyway. Oh! Schwanz nearly went off.
No, he's held on to it just.
Oh,
it looked like he just got clipped on something potentially for a brief moment. It looked like he darted to the right, but I think he's definitely held on to it. Essa needs to drop these guys as quickly as he can, because Jazzman's pulling the gap now. If Essa wants another win, he needs to catch up, because he can't be afforded to be battling with these guys. Meanwhile, Schwartz and Kaiser are battling, so Essa's going to get that break. Essa's on for a potential win here, and that is definitely going to shake things up for the championship.
Bring it on for Essa. He's going to be mathematically still in this. It could be.
Yeah.
I hope he does, but I'm not going to jinx it, so I'm not going to say anything more.
Kai's got a good run there. Oh, Essa's got. He's really rocking hard. I've lost the saying, but he's in a really sticky situation here. He's trying to catch the leader who has a penalty, but whilst holding off from a very determined championship leader. So he's got two whole different worlds. Is Kaiser trying to go around the outside? No, he's going to run himself off the road. He's lost. Kaiser taking too many risks, and now Kaiser has dropped another position, so he's really hurting his championship here now. Kaiser doesn't need to be affording to making these mistakes. He's got no patience. He's throwing away points. He just needs to be patient. There's 1 lap left. So if Essa can just find 8 attempts, he's going to be a 2-time winner and potentially even in a bigger shout of winning the championship.
That could be a dark horse, as Burno's out. Burno's disconnected. As Schwann's almost gone off.
Has he held onto the position? Oh, he just has.
That's going to allow Essa to pull away, surely, from these lot. A second. Well, almost a second. 5 attempts. I think Essa must be loving this. Essa's 1.3 seconds. This is like a Lando Norris moment all over again.
He's nearly there. He just needs to get a very good final sector. The penalty's still a second. He's nearly there.
He's lost 6 attempts. He's lost 6 attempts.
I don't think he's going to be quite there. No, he's 6 attempts down on this lap. He needed a 1 minute 30 if he wanted to be anywhere near. Jasmine's held on to this very well. Unless he makes a horrific mistake at the last second. Schwantz is coming now. Kaiser's ruined any chance of getting a podium here now. Schwantz is, I think, going to send out one last time. You know, there might be one more final lap.
Oh, it's going to be one final lap.
There's going to be one more final lap, folks. Yeah, one more lap. So Essa's got one last chance now if he wants it. But he's got 2 drivers hounding down on him. Jazzman's probably saying, oh, why did I have to finish this? He literally crossed the line with a second to go. And now, Essa's going to be on it now. He knows he's got to do this. He was faster last lap, 3 tenths faster. He needs to drag 7 tenths off, whilst also defending for second position. This is going to be close. This is going to be really close.
This is like last week all over again, except the timings are going to be fixed now because obviously we've got one final lap to do. So we seem to be getting first races where the races are close to the end for the leaders. This is what we want to see in the filler leagues. And, you know, Jazzman, the gap's now 1.0. He's got to find a few hundreds. He's a few hundred in. This is going to be tight. Oh, he's lost a few attempts in set to 2. Well, just starting set to 2. I think Essa Essa's closer than he's ever been, but it's going to be a miracle.
He's so close. He's so close. What is the penalties on? It's still 1 second. Oh, he's dropping off. Yeah, it's going. Oh no, it keeps fluctuating. He's so close.
Oh, look at Kaiser! Look at Kaiser on Schwanz. Oh my goodness, they're going to touch. That's not good.
He grabs within a second.
No, he's not.
Oh,
no.
Oh, so close.
Oh, there we go. Jazzman takes the win by 1.1 seconds. Well, by 1/10 actually. 1/10.
1/10. Yes, so close. Essa nearly had it there. Yeah, 5 attempts between them. I think Essa needs to do a 31 dead if he was to be within a chance there. Oh, that's a shame there. But that's the top 4. Mr. Kozlowski, impressive 5th after bottling the start. Big Kid Daddy from, I think, what was it, 13th, 14th, up into 6th, Leroy in 7th, Danny in 8th, Fozzie in 9th, Tinnis in 10th, Vectro in a disappointing 11th, got into 8th and then dropped down again, Cart in 12th, Brendan 13th, Tom G in 14th and Evil last, unfortunately. Gotta say, a cracking race though. It was holy moly. As I think Vectro's engine has actually blown up from that accident.
What on earth happened there? That was crazy, but wow. I've got to say, this has turned the championship on its head right now. I'll have to do some math whilst we wait to sort out the reverse grids. 2 attempts actually separate Jazzman and Essa. Not attempts, so we did our math wrong. But Schwanz in 3rd. He's ahead of Kaiser. But I don't know what the gaps is in terms of points, so I'll have to do some maths in a minute. With Mr. Kozlowski in 5th, Big Kid Daddy in 6th, Leroy in 7th, Danny Boy 8th, Fozzie in 9th, Tinnis, Vetro, Brent, Cart, and Tom and Evil Dragon in last place. I think, obviously, Big Kid Daddy, I don't know if he's done enough to stay within this. Unfortunately, Kozlowski, I think, because obviously Kites has gained quite a bit of points on him. I'll have to do some maths on that one. So I'll write these down just a second.
Critically, Schwanz has gone with the fastest lap of the race as well, so that's an extra point there for Schwanz. That extra point
and don't
could
forget,
be the
Kaiser
difference.
gets the extra 1 point for pole position as
yeah.
well.
Is that definitely a thing for Formula Rookie? I've never actually known.
Yeah, it is. According to the regulations, apparently.
Okay.
Oh, it's gone on my screen. So Essa 2nd. And we got Jazzman in 1st. And I'll need to get the stream up so I can actually write down the results quickly. And let me change scenes as well. Live maths live on stream is not good, folks. But we have some time, so everything is good. But the most crucial part is Big Kid Daddy still within this fight. I think he will just be in the fight. I'm not entirely sure. So let me just find the part of the stream where it takes standings. There we go. Thank you, stream. Oh, I think Essa still. I think with Essa finishing ahead of Kaiser and the gap needing to be 51 points, he's in it. He's in within the chance for the championship.
Well, question is though, Kaiser's going to be on it now. Kaiser's made a real mockery of that first race. He kind of just put himself in bad positions and dropped 2 crucial positions there. Could have had seconds and he could have potentially won that race, but I think ego and greediness got to him. He was trying too hard and could just settle for where he was and be safe and round off the championship in the second race. But now he's got to work even harder now, which could induce more stress and pressure, which could ultimately lead to one fatal mistake that could cost him the championship. So Kaiser's got it all to play for now. It's in his court. It's how he approaches this second race. It's all down to how he performs. It's all the same for the drivers who are within a shout as well. But this is really going to be anybody's championship, this final race.
Yeah, I think Tinnis is out of the championship as well, which is unfortunate. Bren is out as well. But we'll have to see if everyone else is staying within it as well. So, before this first race, Kaiser's got 108 points. He finished in 4th place, which means he gets an extra 26 points there. So that I need to do some mental maths here. That is 108, 118, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 224 points he gets from he get Esther in second. So I forgot how I need to check how many points second gets. Second 40 points. So that is 156 plus 40, 66, 76, 86, 96, 196. And Jazzman obviously won. Jazzman 82, oh no, 116 plus 50, that is 166. Oh, that is close, but we'll have to do some maths to see if he's still in it. Schwantz, he got third, which he got 32 points. So where does that leave him? 117 plus, was it 32? So 27, 37, 40, 47, 149. And there we go. And Big Kid Daddy, that's the crucial thing. Big Kid Daddy, he only got 6th place, I believe, which that means only 20 points. And whilst I do the maths, can you talk about the second race and what these guys need to do?
Well, 40 minutes ahead of them. 20 minutes is full of chaos. That's Oulton Park. 40 minutes of it. Well, it's all to play for, isn't it? These guys are going to be ready for what's ahead of them. The conditions are definitely going to be a little slightly different. So some of them feel more comfortable, may struggle even more. However, that will bring it is definitely going to shake it up. But once again, it's as always, if I'm honest, I think they'll be going nice and neatly, being too ruthless or too impatient. Patience is key at the Oulton Park circuit, a very, very narrow, tricky circuit, of course. So they got to be incredibly careful with what they do. As we are now loading into the session again, as I'm going to find the grid order somewhere. There's the grid. So Dan will be starting in first, Leroy in second, Big Kid Daddy in third. So maybe Big Kid Daddy's pulled off a massive strategy here and has put himself in a brilliant position to maybe take the championship. Mr. Kozlowski in fourth, Kaiser in fifth. So 3 drivers really close to each other. Schwartz in sixth, Essa in seventh, Jazzman in eighth, Fozzie in ninth, Tinnis in 10th, Vectro in 11th, Brent is in 12th, 13th is Kart, Tom G in 14th, Evil Dragon in 15th, and Burno rounds out the grid. But I gotta tell you, Jess, there are some drivers who are within the championship. Well, some drivers who struggled last race are now in a brilliant position to take this championship fight.
I've got to say, I've done the maths for Big Kid Daddy. He's ahead of Esther in the championship. He's still winning a chance, only just though.
And he's third as well.
So,
Esther right in that middle pack as well, where anything could happen and could knock him out of the championship. So Big Kid Daddy's in a brilliant position here. Third on the second row of the grid. Obviously, it's going to be a formation lap. Whoever's in first, which is going to be Danny, he's going to be getting a very good start. Big Kid Daddy's going to need to be on it from the very get-go if he wants a good chance of winning this race, which he's certainly capable of.
yeah, unfortunately, I think by doing the maths, unfortunately, even though Jazzman got the win, he's not winning the championship fight. And I believe Schwantz has got less points than him, so he's out as well. So, according to my maths, I haven't done Kozlowski's points yet, but I think he's got less points. So, obviously, he finished behind Kaiser. So, there's 3 people that's still winning a chance of winning this championship. It's Kaiser, Big Kid Daddy, and Essa. 28-point gap between him, Kaiser, and Essa, and slightly less between Kaiser and Big Kid Daddy. So I wish the best of luck to all 3 of them.
So what is what does Kaiser need to do? What do the drivers need to do in order to win the championship? I'm guessing Kaiser's going to need to win the race if he wants to beat any of these guys, I'm guessing.
Well, there's 51 points on offer going into the final race. So really, if Kaiser outscores both of them, he's fine. But I will have to do a bit of maths at the end whilst the stream going on to do that. Unfortunately,
it's going to be so difficult to pick this off. So we may not know who wins the championship at the. Well, if Kaiser wins, I think it's definite. Kaiser's won the championship.
If Kaiser wins, he's won the championship. End of. Big Kid Daddy, the difference between him is around about 23 points is the gap between them and Big Kid Daddy, and the gap between Kaiser and Esther is 28 points. So basically, I'm trying to think where Kaiser needs to finish if any of the guys. So pretty much, he's got to finish. Basically, if Essa or Big Kid Daddy wins, he's got to finish in the... Well, if Essa wins, Kaiser's got to finish in the top 3. And if Big Kid Daddy wins, he's got to finish within the top 4. But if Kaiser finish ahead of both of them, then that is absolutely fine. Then Kaiser's won. So that's my understanding.
Okay, so Kaiser's in a good position. He's ahead of Esther, so Kaiser, he's in the middle ground for this. Big Kid Daddy crucially ahead of Kaiser, and he's got Mr. Kozowski behind him, who is another fast driver as well. So it's all to play for 3 drivers here as they're now going in for the final rookie filler league. This is tier 1. It's been an absolutely amazing season, but here we go again for one last time. The last time the drivers will be rounding this corner in formation. From now on, they'll be going flat out to the checkered flag. Let's get ready to race for one last time here at Oulton Park. Danny Boy is going to lead them away for the final time. When does he go? He's holding it off very late. Now he goes. We are racing, and that is Jazzman getting a jump start there, I think, potentially next. He's already jumped up a lot of positions there. So Jazzman may potentially be under scrutiny from that, but he's fallen down already. You can see it's very clean through turn number 1 this time around, which is brilliant to see. Big Kid Daddy's already dropping positions. Mr. Kozowski's already ahead of Big Kid Daddy, so that's not what he wants at all. Kaiser's already there, sniffing at Big Kid Daddy's rear. So Big Kid Daddy's got to get his move on now if he wants to stay ahead of Kaiser and win this championship. Mr. Kozowski, though, not going to make it easy as Mr. Kozowski goes down the inside of Danny, who has lost 2 positions already. So it's very close indeed in the back as well. Oh, Combs getting kicked up everywhere. Jazzman's had a shocking start. He's down into 12th.
I know Jazzman, he won the last race, not having the best of starts. I mean, if he wins in race 1, he doesn't get a good race 2, and let's hopefully this curse can break away from him pretty soon as well. Tom's obviously dropped down to 15th, of course, but Schwanz is still catching up to Kaiser as well. They were having a battle in the last race, of course, but Danny Boy dropped down to 3rd, and he's got, obviously, we've got Big Kid Daddy and Kaiser chasing him. I mean, you know, Big Kid Daddy's off, he spun, he nearly hit the wall. Luckily he didn't hit the wall, but he's mowing a bit of grass there. He's got to be careful that he joins the track safely.
9th position.
That's him out if he stays like this.
11th. Not what you want to be doing, but not even on the first racing lap, and he's trying to go around the outside of someone. As who's that into the pit lane? I believe it's Fuzzy. Yes, it is. But Big Kid Daddy throwing away plenty of positions for no reason whatsoever. Now he's got to do it all again. Kaiser now into 4th, who is now ahead of Danny. I tell you what, Big Kid Daddy may have just thrown this away now. Now it's all Kaiser now. All he needs to do is, that's a ton of cars going off. That's Pren there going off the circuit. And Cart in the background. But it's now Kaiser's now. If he stays where he is, he's won the championship. Yeah, he just needs to stay ahead of his championship rivals. But S is there. He's only 1 position behind. And look who's in between them. It's Schwantz once again. These 3 are just inseparable. And there's Tinnis, actually, unfortunately not in the championship position, but could really, really change the championship fight. So it's, wow. Big Kid Daddy's got a lot of work to do if he wants to catch back up.
Well, fair play to Big Kid Daddy is probably not driving the best he would have liked due to his illness, obviously, but he's still giving it his best shot and giving it his go. But it'll be a shame if he throws it away in this last race. I mean, he's worked so hard all season, probably the most consistent driver apart from Kaiser all season, really, and he could be getting one of his next worst result of the season. But to be honest, it's about having fun in this final race for some people, if they're out of this, of course. But you know, maybe Tinnis could help Big Kid Daddy, get a little bit of a slipstream, because they are teammates after all, and there's still the team championship to be decided. Obviously, we've got Essa that's still in this fight. We've got Schwanz fighting.
Schwanz has had contact with Kaiser. He had contact with Kaiser. He's dropping way down the field. I can't keep up with it. He's really hit the wall there.
Oh, that's not good. That is not. The back engine cupboard's. No, it's not gone. I thought it was gone.
That's going to be damaged, though, I think. He had contact with Kaiser. Can't tell who was at fault, though, really. Kaiser's now, well, he's still in 4th, but that's allowed Essa to get round to the back of him as Leroy's picked up a penalty now. Big Kid Daddy, he's not too far. He's in 7th now, but Kaiser's still got this championship wrapped up. Mr. Gzowski's just running away with it at the moment. And there's Leroy, and Kaiser in between Schwartz and Essa there, so it's really just down to what these guys do. Jazzman's catching up as well, so, but I don't think Jazzman is in the championship fight either. It's just Essa and Kaiser, and I think Schwartz to a certain degree as well. But the main two, Essa and Kaiser, battling it out, and wow, Essa just needs to get in front of Kaiser and stay there.
Yeah. Indeed, if he does that, he's absolutely fine right now. As obviously, I only worked out if Essa wins is what Kaiser needs to do. I don't know. I haven't worked out what Kaiser needs to do if Essa is lower than that, but we shall see. But it's still quite a big gap anyway. So even if Essa is just behind Kaiser, I don't think it's going to be enough for him to claim this fight, even if Kaiser's just behind Essa. So. You know, I mean, he's got to get up a few positions, but it is hard for Essa, you know, because obviously some of his races is not his strong point, but these races are going to show he is keeping up with the top guys at the moment. But here comes Kaiser and Schwartz once again for another ding-dong battle, and I think Kaiser's trying to get a run there. He's got the curb, he's in the same line as obviously Tinnis and Big Kid Daddy as well. Big Kid Daddy's back in this too. And Jazzman as well. It's basically 4 wide potentially as well. This could really spice things up if things stay where they are. Kaiser taps a bit and he taps Schwartz. Oh no.
That was Danny Boy, unfortunately.
Oh, it's Danny Boy. Oh no.
Yeah. Kaiser just bashing Danny Boy out the way there, so Kaiser could be on screen for that, and now he's set himself up to attack from Essa. Yeah, Kaiser just bashing Danny Boy out the way. Now Essa's coming up the inside. Can he make a stick? He's on the curb. Kaiser's wide. He's on the grass. Now he's going to lose 2 positions. He's nearly behind Big Kid Daddy. He is behind Big Kid Daddy. So now it's all falling apart for Kaiser. Danny Boy's there. Jazzman's got a penalty, so he's not in this battle at all. Yeah, how much has he got? 2 seconds. Hey, he's completely out of this. Kaiser's getting swamped here. There's cars everywhere. He's losing multiple positions now. Essa is in a prime position now, as there's contact on the straight there nearly. Big Kid Daddy's in front of his teammate as well, so Big Kid Daddy, Essa, the 2 rivals, Kaiser cannot be allowed to get in front of him, are now in front of him, and Kaiser's got Big Kid Daddy's teammate, Tinnis, there as well, and I'm sure Big Kid Daddy and Tinnis are in communications as well, so, Essa's gone, I keep calling him Essa, Kaiser's gone wide, and he's now allowing himself up to attack from Danny Boy. And he's got himself in a position. He's now down another position. No, Danny Boy's gone D. And Essa's back up. I keep calling Kaiser, not Essa. Kaiser. Kaiser is back ahead. I'm going to stop talking.
Oh my god. I mean, Danny Boy's doing well trying to fend off Kaiser and Jazzman. They're no easy feat. So I've got to say, even though Danny Boy's starting on par, he's having a great cracking race so far. And he's fighting with Jazzman now. Kaiser's got ahead of Danny Boy, which is crucial now. But you know, I mean, I've got to say, with Essa in 3rd place, this could change things even more with the championship. But with the points staying as they are, obviously, it may not be as close to as it seems. He may just miss out here. as Jazzman he's just fighting for every bean at the moment. Obviously, there's still the team's championship to worry about. He wants to get points for that as well. So even if Kaiser wins this, he wants to do the double, of course, and he's got to rely on Jazzman. Here, all three of them go towards the start-finish straight. You can see Car tucked up in the background as well because he wants to have a little piece of the action as well as Essa. Oh, Essa's gone off a little bit. That might lost it a bit of time. This might bring Kaiser back into the mix as well. Yes, it does. I think...
Danny's now ahead as well.
Yeah, but Essa's getting a better run, which he does. This is very good racing from all of them, but it's making Kaiser a little bit more hungry now to get the position from Essa, his championship rival. He wants this win. If he gets ahead of him, then we know we don't have to do more maths. Danny's out. Oh, he's not out, but he's spun.
That's it, completely done now. He's going to have damage as well. That is so random. Out, completely out of nowhere. But maybe, potentially, but he rotated around so easily there. Never seen that happen. Well, he's out of it now.
He's out
That's
of
the championship done for him now. That's it completely. So it's now a two-horse race now. It's Essa and Kaiser, and ultimately Essa's ahead, but I think Kaiser's still going to win this championship just with the points gap he has.
Yeah, but I think, because obviously we got Kaiser, I can't remember how many points they get per position, but we'll
I can find out now what they currently sit at now.
Yeah, so obviously Essa's sat 32 points.
26 for Kaiser.
Kaiser 26, so I don't think it will be enough because the gap is 28 at the moment. So Essa will need to be up Kaiser a few positions if he wants to win the title. I think up 2 or 3 positions potentially. Kaiser's in it.
So Essa needs to be leading.
Potentially Essa needs to win, ideally.
That's where the points gap's biggest. If Essa and Kaiser go into it into second position, Essa's going to have a 10-point gap if he technically wins. This is all theoretical, of course, but the gap's not that big between the two of them sitting in third and fourth, so Essa really needs to get second position, which technically he has, but Leroy has a second penalty, and unfortunately for Essa, Kaiser's within that second as well, so he wouldn't really be gaining much out of it. It'd be 8 points between the two as they move up. Essa would be in second, of course, Kaiser in third, but it'd still be 8 points, which I still don't think is enough of a gap, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, obviously, you know, he's got to be up a few positions. He's got to hammer it home, really, and he's not, you know, Essa is faster than Leroy. He can't afford to be held up right now, and so is Kaiser. So, you know, they've got to do this. We've got Jazzman in the background as well. Kaiser's going to go for a late lunch potentially. No, he is not, as he didn't want to kiss the curb, obviously, but Leroy holding his own, of course. Mr. Kozlowski, he's absolutely flying right now in first place, setting one of the fastest laps of the race so far. 1:31.8 for him and a 6-second gap at the moment. Essa, good defending from Essa into turn 1 and 2. He's done it with all his might at the moment. He just got to find a way past Leroy, but he just can't do it.
No, he can't, but maybe just because that penalty's there, he's just not risking it. Like you said, Mr. Kozlowski pulling away. It's just a shame he hasn't been able to make it stick for the entire season, because every time he's pulled off, but there goes Essa actually. Leroy leaves the door open and he allows both of them to go up the inside now. So there's a bit of a gap there, so Kaiser is still in it.
Kaiser needs to, if Kaiser finishes 5th or lower, then he's lost the title. So yeah, at the moment he's won. At the moment, if it stays as it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Essa wins, Kaiser needs to finish 3rd or higher. If Essa's 2nd, I believe it's 4th or 5th or higher. And then, you know, we'll have to wait and see, of course. But this is tender hooks right now. Kaiser could just stay like this, and he could be still in it. But he can't afford to do that, because otherwise Essa could be pulling away, and that could be his gap gone. So Kaiser's got to push, which he is. And there's no real challenge from there. I think Essa, didn't want to take too many risks, which he doesn't. So that's Kaiser in 2nd. I think he's going to pull the gap. And to be honest, I think Essa will be absolutely thrilled, even if he doesn't win, because he'll be probably ahead of Big Kid Daddy if things stay as they are, of course. But the gap between Essa and Big Kid Daddy is about 6 points. And obviously with Big Kid Daddy in 9th place, this could mean a jump in position for Essa Racing. He could be in 2nd, so he'll gain positions either way, but it's going to be tight to win, obviously, because obviously Kaiser is outscoring every single championship rival at the moment. Meanwhile, flying under the radar, Vetro and Evil in 7th and 8th place right now.
Yep, they are, Evil with a penalty though, and it's, wow, Big Kid Daddy's actually got a 32-second penalty.
So is Jazzman.
Oh my lord, he has as well. So both of them have overtaken a car off circuit. So something may have happened that we haven't noticed. Vectro in 7th, so he's gained a few positions out of it. Car and Jazzman in their own little world, but it's mainly these three: Kaiser, Essa, and Leroy. But you see, Essa's pace, it's there, but Kaiser just managed to absolutely flaunt Essa into the final corner. Essa just had no pace whatsoever and just let Kaiser breeze by. Mr. Kozlowski, though, he's flying away. He's untouchable at the moment unless he manages to make another mistake, which would be unfortunate, but at the rate he's been going, it's not out of the realms of possibility. Kaiser a little bit wide there, but they're lapping identical. So these guys, it's so close. It's so close. If any of them make a mistake, it's going to be heart-wrenching, because that's going to be it. If Kaiser pulls off what Big Kid Daddy did in that hairpin, that's it. There's no chance to pull it back unless Essa makes a mistake as well. So I think they're both going to keep it on the island now and keep it clean, but we never know.
We never know. We've seen surprises in GT3, we've seen surprises in Radicals, the Rallycross Lights as well, and obviously the Renault Clio Cup as well. So we may see a surprise here tonight. Let us know in the chat, guys, who you think is going to win the title. Is it going to be Kaiser or is it going to be Essa? I think favourites at the moment is going to be for Kaiser, but Essa may have a slim chance to do it if he gets past Kaiser and pulls that gap. But he's already losing time on Kaiser, so it's going to be close. But Kaiser just hit the grass a little bit there once again. The temperatures are getting a little bit hotter right now, so it may be harder for Essa. He likes the colder temperatures based on what happened last week in the rain, obviously in Sakito. No, not Sakito. Oh, well, Japan. Sugo. Why am I thinking Sakito? Oh, Sakito, I don't even know. Another Japan circuit, that's probably why. But more people getting penalties, of course. Only the top 3, and also Vetro, Pren, Danny Boy, and Schwantz, the only guys not to get a penalty. And here comes Kaiser again. Still the gap, 8 tenths.
Oh, Essa 5 tenths down on that lap as well, so Essa's pace fluctuating quite a bit is further down. There's a battle between Big Kid Daddy and Evil, but it's over a second there. Vectro sits in 7th, but he's going to jump one position because Jazzman has that 32-second penalty, so Vectro going to get a decent finish here if he keeps it all clean and dandy. We're nearly halfway through this race already, and unfortunately the field is starting to spread out a bit. It's starting to thin a little. The gaps are getting larger. There's Jazzman's moved up into 4th now, but it's not really going to be much of a prevail as he's going to drop down positions as it is anyway. He's going to drop quite a few, I think. Maybe he may drop down into 8th, maybe. And then again, Big Kid Daddy has also got a penalty as well. So I think Jazzman is looking at 7th for this finish today. But Kaiser, he's got it all to play for. It's all in his...
He's gained 44,000. He's gained 400
yeah, it's all in his hands. He knows. Essa's dropping off now. He's really starting to fall back now. Kaiser knows Essa's not challenging. He knows Essa's not as quick right now. So I think Kaiser's just slowly starting to eke out, just getting those few extra little tenths and just starting to eke out the gap now. That's what I'll say. There he was, four-wheel drifting out of the exit of the final turn.
Yeah, I mean, let's just hope Kaiser doesn't make a mistake. I hope nobody makes mistakes. We don't want a championship fight to be won or lost due to a retirement. So let's hope they can keep it on the track, please, as do most of these guys. Now, Berno, I believe, disconnected at the start of the race. He didn't even make the start. And obviously we lost one other driver as well. And then we got all 14 other drivers still in this race and still can be getting on with some good points right now. The gap's still winning a second for some of these guys with the battling we're seeing at the moment. And it's still, I think Kai's has still dropped a little bit. Yes, he has dropped a little bit. The gap now is 1.1 seconds. I think Essa, I can see he's gaining. I think he tends to gain on the straights. When he gets to corners, he may lose a bit of time. We'll see anyway. Is the gap under a second? No, not quite. But he's got a lot of work to do, as do a lot of these other drivers if they want to stay in championship. Well, if they want to climb places in this championship. As Evil is looking, he's looking quite good on Big Kid Daddy at the moment. Still, the gap is, I think it's 4 tenths now. So Big Kid Daddy must be having a problem, or Evil must be finding some good pace.
Yeah, obviously Evil's actually got 8th position as it is, the 32-second penalty. So that's going to be another decent finish for Evil, of course, if he keeps it on the circuit and doesn't make a mistake, which is entirely possible. But I think Evil, he seems to be running very consistently and very cleanly, lapping pretty decently in the 33s, low 33s. Meanwhile, up front this time around, it's Essa who laps faster than Kaiser, so the pace is starting to switch around. The tables turn. Jazzman's trying to catch up to these two. Jazzman lapping the faster out of the 3, definitely faster than Kaiser and Essa, that is. You can see Jazzman in the background there. But, like I said, 32-second penalty, you know, your pace isn't going to matter all too much. As Essa, yeah, he's lapping very consistently now. He's starting to pick the pace up. Kaiser seems to have dropped the ball a little bit, but I think he knows he can afford just to back off a little bit.
Yeah, I think if he knows that Essa is lapping slower than him, he can ease off. But if he's lapping quicker, then he needs to push. And lappers, you could tell Kaiser was backing off a little bit there, but he can't do that every lap because Essa could really start to gain. He's gained quite a bit on that lap actually, but he's still within the 1.1 second range. But he's still having a bit of fun and he's keeping on the road. The number 6 driver, of course, who is loving these Formula Rookie cars. And I've got to say, it's had its ups, it's had its downs all season for all these drivers, but you know, I mean, I think it's good that these guys are not having too many incidents in this second race. Of course, they want to end this on a high and they don't want to end it with an incident or shunt. So fair play to all these drivers, and to be honest, most of them come home with their heads held high. Some of them, it will be their best finish. Big Kid Daddy actually did get past Evil Dragon, and Big Kid Daddy is staying in 8th with Evil, dropping back a second or two, so that is down to 9th place. And I think Brennan's nowhere near that battle, and neither is Fozzie either. I think obviously Danny Boy and Tom are having a little bit of a battle as well, but I think Leroy is who was that Essa was lapping? I didn't see. Was that
Tom G.
Tom G down in 13th, so obviously Leroy's teammate. So yeah, that didn't help it with the traffic, of course, but he can gain some time back. The gap now 7 tenths. Essa and Kaiser are lapping similar lap times. This could potentially be similar to what we see in the first race, where Essa was slow to start with, but he's picking up the pace towards the end. Maybe he's just saving a bit of tyre life potentially, so he can have enough just to get to the end of the race. And obviously he runs better with less fuel, so maybe that's where he's lost 2 tenths there. So it's hard to think where he gains a bit of time and where he loses it. I think it's set to 2 where he loses the time, I think. Set to 1 where he gains it, set to 2 is when he loses it. So that is what he needs to work on.
Yeah, it's all well and good, but if he gets past Kaiser, he needs Kaiser to drop dramatically, because otherwise Kaiser's still going to win the championship. So Essa needs a bit of a miracle as they're lapping, I believe that's Danny Boy, yeah. So Danny Boy is the next of the lapped cars to be, getting lapped, of course. But Essa, I think he knows that Kaiser's got this in the bag at the moment. Obviously there's still 15.5 minutes to go, of course, but anything's possible. But I think Essa's started to realise that he knows that I think he's settling for 2nd position in the championship, so he's definitely going to jump Big Kid Daddy as it is, because Big Kid Daddy's going to drop more positions as it is. He's going to drop quite a few, I think maybe 2-3 positions. So Essa, where he is now, is going to be one of his best, another really good finish for him, and his best finish in an AOR season.
Yeah, that could be good, I think, as well. Obviously, second in the championship, that's going to boost him quite a lot here. But obviously, the GT3s are a lot different for Essa. But, you know, I mean, he's shown he's a dark horse. I wasn't expecting him to be up there at the start of the season, but I don't think Essa was expecting it at all. But just goes, well, he's had a bit of a shocking result. If he didn't get that shocking result in Dubai in the second race, he would have been way more up there, and he would have probably be even closer to Kaitsa. He would have been, even with a whisker, he would have had more chance of the title, but no. So this is where it's key right now for Essa just to find a bit more time. You can see where he's gaining and losing time, and he's lost a bit of time there. He's got to keep consistent lap times at the moment, obviously, because Daddy's out of this, but he could still potentially get third. Probably not if Kozlowski and Jazzman are ahead of him. But we should find out in 13 minutes time, as we're getting beautiful views in this track at the moment. Obviously, this is a shortened version of Oulton Park. This is the island version, so they've cut some bits of the circuit, of course, so that's what they're racing on. And Essa only losing a tenth there. He's within 9 tenths of Kaitsa now. This is where he's lost it before. And I think the slipstream is definitely helping Essa with his pace. Is now the gap 7 tenths, 6 tenths. Now 7 tenths again. And he's lost it at that corner, potentially. Yeah, that's where he loses it, I think, in his lap. That could cost him towards the end, but we'll see, of course, as his nearest right, which he doesn't have to worry about Jazzman. All he's got to worry about is one person, which I think is helping him at the moment.
Yeah, of course, this race has started to become a bit of a procession now. If I'm honest, it's very linear, not a lot of overtaking going on, not a lot of battles, unfortunately, like the last race. Which is usually quite strange, because the 40-minute races are usually quite strong. Like, there's usually a lot of battling going on, especially No Goodbye was a 40-minute race. It was battles from start to finish. But this race is unfortunately not provided the same, of course, two completely different circuits, so the drivers have completely fanned out a little bit because of the circuit limitations, of course. Mr. Kozlowski absolutely just, if he performed like this in every race, I think he could have had the championship wrapped up by now, because he's been on form since round 1 at Oschersleben, but just silly and rather embarrassing incidents like what happened to Dubai, where he flipped over with Jazzman, and then obviously spinning at turn 1 in the first race here at Oulton Park. Had he been more consistent and not making those mistakes, he could have been a champion by now. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be. But maybe he may come to GT3 Tier 1 and shake it up a bit in there, perhaps.
As do a lot of these drivers, actually. We lost another driver. We're now down to 13. Who's that, I wonder?
Yeah.
Friend, maybe? Oh, Tinnis. So Tinnis is out of the race. Not a shame to end his last race in Formula Rookies like that, but that means he may drop behind Prem potentially if he's not careful. This is getting spicy. Where has Essa come from? He was a second behind at one point.
I think Kai's made a mistake,
Yeah, I think so. Here comes Essa then. This is crucial for the championship. They're both going to go side by side into turn 1. But Essa, I think, is conceiving this position for now. He knows he can't afford to have a shunt with his championship rival. And obviously Jazzman is now back in this. 2 seconds now between Jazzman, obviously, and his teammate. And this is really crucial for Essa now that he can't. If he keeps on the pace of Kaitsa, this will be a good finish for him. He'll probably get the most points out of anyone in these 2 races, which will be a statement that Essa is meaningful business at the moment. And he's still within 3 tenths of Turbo is helping him. I'm sure Kaito is thinking, right, what can I do to break the slipstream right now? Because I think that's the only way. Sometimes Essa is still holding on to for dear life at the moment. We could see another close finish like we saw in the first race. You never know, but as Essa's lost a bit of time, this is where you always lose a bit of time now. I mean, I don't know what he could do just to be best, probably be smoother on entry potentially, so he doesn't lose that much time. But I think the third sector and the final sector, he's really starting to shine here at the moment. Obviously, the only battle we're seeing on the circuit, and this is on the line for Essa. I wonder what Essa is thinking in the cockpit right now. I mean, if you have too much pressure on your shoulders, that's where you can crumble, but maybe Essa's enjoying the pressure right now, and it is helping him just a little bit.
Yeah, of course, like at that time said, Essa a bit slow there, last lap. Kaiser definitely made a mistake the lap before, just gone now, of course, he's opened the gap up again. But yeah, Essa's dropped off again now, unfortunately. It just seems he just caught up a little bit there, but dropped off again. Kaiser, I think, made one of those rare mistakes. Fortunately for Essa, not a big enough mistake for him to capitalise on it, of course, but Kaiser just holding on. He's doing the best he can do, and I can't see this changing. I'm just thinking, just had Essa had won last race, just how different this could be, because that extra 50 points could have made the difference, and where Essa's sitting now could be a championship, could be the position that decides the championship for him.
Exactly, and imagine what he could have been like if he won last week as well. He was that close to winning last week as well. You know, all those things are. I think, what if he got, like, say, 5th or 4th in Germany? If he got a better result in race 1 last week? I mean, there's a lot of things to take into consideration, but the past is the past now. You've got to think about what you're doing right this very moment. And I think Essa must know at some point that he's got to be on the get-go. As you can see now, Jazzman is within striking distance of the two of them at the moment, if these two keep battling at the moment. So maybe Essa doesn't want to be too close just yet, because otherwise Jazzman could fall in the heels of these two, of course, towards the end of this race. And, you know, I mean, if this ends like this will be... Whoever wins the title will be deserving. Obviously, Kaiser being the most consistent, Essa being the dark horse, you know. Kaiser haven't won a championship in a while, so this could show he's a favourite going to the GT3 series. Coming up, season 16, of course. Essa, again, has lost a bit of time there, but not as much as I would have thought. But, you know, he's still impressing with his lap times. 131s, the top 4, the only drivers in the 131s right now, with Miss Kozlowski in the 132s, everybody else in the 33s and 34s. So the top 4 are in a league of their own at the moment.
Yeah, they definitely are, just like Mercedes and Red Bull in Formula 1. Meanwhile, Big Kid Daddy and Evil are still battling it out, so there is another battle going on circuit. And obviously Evil, you know, he's still going to finish way ahead of Big Kid Daddy, who has that 32-second penalty, or possibly more, potentially. Let's have a look. And it is 38. Oh dear. So that's...
Where did he get another penalty then?
He just would have been... That'd just be track limit penalties.
Right.
Stuff like that. Very, very easy to get penalties here. Essa's still just on the bubble there. I mean, he's not going to win the championship where he is, but it'd be nice if he could finish ahead of Kaiser. He's certainly going to want to be ahead of Kaiser at the end. It's not going to matter, though, because Kaiser's still going to win the championship. Jazzman's not been able to catch up to these guys. He's had a shocking lap last lap, and, well, I mean, with that 32-second penalty, I mean, he's not going to be finished in 4th whatsoever. But, well, I mean... Then again, I think Vectro has dropped that, fallen off a bit in terms of pace, so Jazzman may potentially just finish ahead of Vectro, who is in his own little bubble, 18 seconds off of Kart, 5 seconds ahead of Big Kid Daddy, so all by himself there. It's not fun racing by yourself at all. You want to be battling lap after lap after lap, but sometimes having a breather from the racing is a bit of a blessing. But once again, Essa's on pace again, so the times fluctuate. And Essa's on the ball again, but I dare say, I think Kaiser's going to pull away again, coming up to this point next lap.
Yeah, you can see Kaiser was saving just a little bit there by the looks of things, you know. He doesn't want to be pulling up too quickly, because otherwise the tyres might overheat. He may be on less fuel, he might be saving, to be honest. I don't know. But maybe Kaiser's doing the right thing potentially, but he can't ease off too much, because otherwise Esther could catch up really quickly, and then Esther could pull away too. So this could be game on for both of these drivers, of course, who have obviously driven so well this season. But we'll have to find out, of course. And only 2 battles happening on track, but yeah, I agree with you, Ethan. You don't want to be running on your own at all. I mean, when I've raced many times on F1 where most of the time I've been at the back, and it's not fun, but sometimes it can help you improve on your lap pace, your consistent race pace, pretty much. So for some of them, it could help them in the future. But since there's no more rounds left, some people may think, what's the point? But the point is, there is a point for fastest lap, and Vetro, I think someone else got a penalty, that's Vetro.
Yeah, Vetro.
So that's, I think, 2 seconds, I believe, or 1 second. 1 second, I was getting there. And I saw someone else with an 8 second, I think that's Fozzie, or Evil, I'm not sure. Fozzie, yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
And a lot of 32-second penalties, obviously. And I do see S's teammate in front of him.
It's actually Fozzie, yeah.
So,
now, of course, he's got to get out of the way, though. Can't hold up Kaiser.
No, he can't. Or maybe he's using that so Essa can catch up to him.
Yeah, of course, now Kaiser's got a toe now, so it's going to be difficult for Essa to catch up now. Jazzman's fallen well off now.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jazzman's pace has just fluctuated dramatically there. He's not lapping consistently at all, as Kaiser's lapped 3/10 faster now. There goes, I think that's Pren and Fozzie. Indeed it is. So there's 2 battles on circuit happening at the same time here. Pren and Fozzie. As Fozzie's locked up and nearly hit Pren. Holy moly, that was close. But I think they've managed to avoid contact, and he gets away scot-free of any damage. But now let's see again. Look, Kaiser's pulled that gap again. It was really close. It's about 3-4 tenths. Now it's over a second again. So it really, don't want to be making those mistakes at all. That's the type of mistake that's going to cost them a championship. I mean, then again, look at the gap. I mean, Leroy's,
he should be fine.
Yeah, he should be fine, unless it's a catastrophic accident where it does inflict major damage. But I think just a small spin on the grass.
He's definitely got this. He's been consistent all race. If he keeps it up and managed to, he was definitely saving the last few laps, isn't he? He's absolutely going for it in the final few laps. He's got, I think, 2 laps to go now. Yeah, 2 laps to go. I think this is Kaiser's to lose right now, and
yeah, this lap and next lap, I believe. Yeah,
because obviously a lap is usually 1:31, and obviously we just passed turn 1 now, and it's 1 minute 50 to go. So it is this lap and the final lap, and then that's it for the final round of the Formula Rookies. And Mr. Kozlowski could get his 2nd win in this league. His last win was in the Dubai Autodrome 2nd race. And he obviously got a podium in the first race, I should say, but that's the only podiums he's had. Maybe having a rubbish race in the first race might have helped him in this race, obviously, which it has. And I think, to be honest, I think with him, if he doesn't get involved in incidents, that's where he shines. And let's hope he continues like that in the GT3 leagues, if he gets signed up, of course. 5 seconds now. There's still the fastest lap points we want. It could be given to any of those drivers, but I think it's down to the top 3 and possibly Jazzman potentially on who could get that extra point. This could make a difference between if they're like 3rd, 4th, even 5th in the standings potentially. And we're almost on the final lap. This is getting absolutely intense right now. This is not the battle for the win, but it's a battle for 2nd. And yeah, Essa needs a miracle right now if he wants to win. He just wants to have a little bit of fun right now, and he's going to go and have a bit of fun with Kaiser in this last lap.
Well, Kaiser's going to have all the pressure on him now, but he's been rock solid, not only in this league, but in any league he participates. Formula Renault, he's wiped the board clean so far. Unfortunately, Formula Renault seems to have just dropped off a little bit. Endurance League season, I can't remember when he was, season 3?
4?
I
can't remember. I
can't quite remember, but back when he was in the Endurance League in the LMP2 Ligiers, was formidable there, and he's made his mark here as well. Mr. Kozlowski, a potential champion, a championship drive this season from him, but unfortunately, too many mistakes from him have cost that title. And he's going to need to rut those mistakes out if he does indeed sign into GT3 next season. He's going to need to rut out those mistakes because you can't be affording those mistakes in GT3 because the cars are faster and the damage can be a lot more crucial. So he can't be affording those if he does sign up. But I've got to say, Esser's performed formidably. He's done everything he can. Coming from a horrific season 15, I think he'd happily admit and agree with me that that season wasn't his best. To come in finishing, I believe, is what is going to be second in the championship. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to give him a lot of confidence boosters into next season. Mr. Kozlowski, though, is your winner for the final race of the season. He wins race number 2 here at Oulton Park, but your champion for Formula Rookie, the Kaiser, takes the championship. Absolutely amazing season from him. Absolutely formidable driving. Everything that he drives. Esser, I believe, takes second position in that championship. Jazzman's going to fall down many positions, I believe. Here come the drivers behind now. Leroy, he's going to jump up. And Jazzman, there he goes. Jazzman starts to drop a few positions now. Kart coming to the line in 6th. Is he going to get promoted up a position? We're going to find out very shortly. As, yes, he does. He gains 5th out of that and proceeds to crash into a barrier. Vectro, a very, very impressive 7th for him. Been a very quiet race, I think he can admit there. Rounds the final corner for the final time this season and will be venturing into GT3 again for the final season. A very, very up and down season for Vectro, but he's had some absolutely brilliant highlights, Dubai being one of them. Big Kid Daddy throws away, I gotta say, the championship there. Unfortunately, he is quite ill, so he may use that as an excuse, but unfortunately, just can't quite grasp the championship. But that is the results, Jess. Boy, what a race. Boy, what a season.
Yeah, and with that bad result, that obviously I'm looking at what did Big Kid Daddy get? Big Kid Daddy got ninth, 11 points. So he just holds on to 3rd place ahead of Kozlowski. And obviously Jazzman's dropped a bit as well. Jazzman finishing in 6th place with 20 points. That puts him on 100. I don't even know, to be honest. So Jazzman with 20 points, that puts him on 186 points. So yeah, 1st place will go to Kaiser in the championship. Then we got Esser in 2nd place in the championship. Then it is Big Kid Daddy. No, yeah, Big Kid Daddy, then Kozlowski, and then I believe it's Jazzman. And I don't know what else is after that in the championship. So those are your top 5 in the standings. So I think that has been your season, and we've got here's your finishers. And obviously we had Tinus retiring, and obviously Berno did not start the race, and Schwantz retiring as well, which is not good. So we're down to 13 drivers. And Evil Dragon getting 8th. That'll be his best finish of the season. And I think I'm going to miss this league.
Yeah, it certainly is. Might be the last time we see a filler league now on Project Cars, just in general. Maybe they might get filler leagues going in the next game. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to have the same atmosphere. It may provide very, very well indeed. Obviously, these cars not needed to pit or anything like that. But of course, these drivers, they've had to contend with fuel and tyre wear. Obviously, you're not going to have that in the next game. But that's another chat for another time. But in the end, a absolutely amazing season. I think I can admit and agree with you, Jess. These cars provided, and I think I'm going to miss it. Almost makes me want to jump back into Project Cars 2, not going to lie. Maybe I might do the final season for GT3. That's just how much I've enjoyed the racing on this game again. But I've got to say, we'll see. We'll see. We'll eventually see what happens. But I've got to say, all the drivers here have performed well. Not only that, they've had like it's been a great atmosphere with these drivers. Plenty of banter, plenty of jokes. It's all been fun and games with these guys. Nothing too serious. I mean, of course, when it comes to the cookies and crumbles, they performed the way they needed to. But there's been no nasty talk, or if there has been an incident, they've dealt with it professionally. And of course, every league's going to have its ups and downs, but I think this tier 1 class has been the best tier 1 I think I've been a part of, and it's been a pleasure to commentate over this fantastic season and commentate with you, Jess.
Yeah, it was the first time I believe we commentated with each other, and it's been a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun, and you know, I may want to do this again in the Filler Leagues in the future. That's for definite. If there is a Filler League, I'm be back in the box again. But that's it for Formula Rookies, and that's it for Project Cars 2 for I think another 2 or 3 weeks, depending on when GT3 gets back up again. Keep an eye on for sign-ups on Twitter at Apex on Racing, and check out the forums as well, where you can sign up for the final season potentially on Project Cars 2 for the GT3 for season 16 on all 3 platforms, of course. Obviously, the PS4 sign-ups will be open as well, and you may see Ethan on the track as well. Unfortunately, this will be Ethan's last bit in the commentary box for a while, but have you had a lot of fun?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this has been a great return to commentary. Obviously, I did G3 season 14. That was pretty fun. It's been pretty fun to commentate over a league that I've pretty much the only league that I've really done in my AOR career since 2018. GT3 and the Filler Leagues have been my main series to do, and I've done each now. I've commentated and raced in both, but it's kind of a shame to see everything comes to an end, and unfortunately, I'd say unfortunately we are going to miss it, but I think we've ended on a brilliant Filler League, and I just hope it's going to be the same for GT3 next season. And if that's the case, sign me up for it, because I can't wait if that's the case.
Yeah, and Evil Dragon will be making his return in the commentary box with me, alongside me in the GT3 season, so he's swapping his racing suit in and going into the commentary box. So yeah, I think he's best. To be honest, I think he prefers the commentary box more than racing. So glad to have him back for next season. But until now, we'll see you next time for the GT3 Leagues on Project Cars 2. I've been Jess Games 95. Ethan has been VSR Rotary, and we will see you next time. Have a good evening. Bye.